Hey guys, thanks for tuning back in. We are in Kalbarri National Park. We've just left Lucky Bay.
Yes, so we've decided to head inland for the weekend and explore around the beautiful gorge and different attractions before heading back to the coast in the next few days.
Incredible sunset by the Murchison River tonight. Look at that. Absolutely lit up. Fish jumping away. Some pelicans.
So after exploring the national park yesterday, we came back towards the river as it's closer, and we knew that it will be very peaceful to sleep here. So we had another great night of sleep. Really nice and quiet. There was a nice sunrise again. It's typical, it's so unpredictable. So now we're gonna have coffee. So I'm just making pancakes for breakfast for Chris and I. Currently vlogging with a phone. Unfortunately, in a previous video, we've broken our GoPro, so we've ordered a new one, which should arrive just in time before Dirk Hartog, so arrive on Friday in Kalbarri.
Speaking of pancakes, who in their right mind chops living wood down to try and light rubbishy little campfires just to smoke themselves out and get all these places shut down so the rest of us can't enjoy it? So since our little stay in Perth, we've had a little bit of issues with our secondary battery not being charged by the car when we drive. It took a little bit to diagnose what it was because we've got a bit of a simple setup. We don't have a bunch of fancy readouts. Now, it's been a little bit difficult explaining it to Ange, mainly because I've set it up, so it's a little bit alien to her. So I thought I'd do a little diagram for Ange and for you guys if you don't know too much about how a secondary battery works out. Bear in mind, a lot of the big YouTubers use expensive setups like Red Arc systems that give you basically everything on a screen, and it's very easy to troubleshoot. This way was a little bit trickier because you just got to go by trial and error. So anyway, here's our diagram. So first of all, we've got our starter battery. That's the main battery under the bottom of your car. Now that you need to have a certain amount of voltage to crank over and therefore start the car up. Once the car has started up, your alternator then starts charging everything that requires 12 volt power. For instance, radio, and we do charge our phone and GPS kind of system while we drive. Now that's actually coming from the alternator, which then also charges back up that starter battery to make sure it's always nearly at full charge, and therefore you're never stranded. So this is the one you never want to stuff around with too much, and you don't want to be pulling too much from it. You need that to be starting your vehicle. Now that alternator, then as we drive, we've got a cable that plugs into a secondary battery. That is also a 12 volt battery. Now, while this is charged up, it can charge our rooftop tent USB, so when we want to charge our phone at nighttime, and our LED camp lights that are in the back of the car and inside the car. We don't use those too often, but that is coming off the secondary battery. Off that secondary battery is also our fridge, full-time, 12-volt fridge that is always going. This always needs to have enough charge in it to be able to keep that fridge running non-stop. Now, this also charges the charging station that I created. That runs an inverter, a pure sine wave inverter, which gives us the same power as if you've plugged it into your wall socket at home. 12 volts using an inverter to get to 240 volts. Now, that charging station therefore powers our drone batteries, camera batteries, and our laptops. We usually only run it when we're driving, because this alternator can power that secondary battery, and therefore that secondary battery can power our charging station. Now, we were stuck with the COVID-19 thing at camp and couldn't move, so therefore this guy was never charging this, so we went about by getting a solar system just before that lockdown, luckily. Now, the solar is on top of the roof tent, and that trickle charges this secondary battery. Nothing to do with our primary starter, okay? So we had an issue very recently where this was not getting much charge, and we did quite a bit of driving and the charge didn't go up much. Where Ange is getting a little bit confused is this solar controller goes into I believe it's an MPPT solar controller, and that has its own little readout and tells you how much sun it's getting, and that therefore tells how much voltage the secondary battery has. But that in itself doesn't really do anything. It just regulates the solar so that if the secondary battery gets full, it's very bad for a 12-volt deep cycle battery to be overcharged. That controller stops that happening. And it's a cheapo one, so it doesn't really do much at all. The flash readouts will have another system which tells you exactly how much power is coming from everywhere and exactly how much power draw the accessories are doing, and therefore you can work out what your needs are. So we had an issue that was quite hard to diagnose, which was this cable here was still fine, but into this secondary battery, which we have got into it's called like a battery box, so it's got some charging plugs and stuff to make that kind of simple for us. The plug had somehow died. Still haven't been able to work out how. So instead, I've now plugged this cable into where the solar input goes in. That means when we drive and want to charge something, I unplug the solar now, and therefore we're getting alternator charge, and that can therefore charge our charging station. And because we're driving, of course, that starter battery is not affected. Now, the annoying thing about that is before we could have both giving us power into that secondary battery, now we just have to pick and choose when we use it. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense. Again, I don't know too much about it. That's a very simple, cost-effective way that we've set it up. Didn't cost us much at all. If I was to do it again, I would spend the money on a manager, sort of a readout system that would tell us exactly what was going on, and I would spend more money on our solar controller so that it got even more draw out of that solar panel. Apparently the one we've got, I think it's MPPT, I could be wrong, so I do apologize. There's a couple of different systems. Our one's not super sort of energy effective, if you will. But yeah, hopefully that made sense, but both our batteries are working.
So it's almost sunset time now. We haven't vlogged all today. Basically didn't do much. We made sure to prepare the car for Dirk Hartog. So getting rid of some items that we don't need, we've been kind of carrying along the entire trip. For me, that would be the blender. I was really hoping to use this one, making acai bowls on the road. It didn't happen. It's been 6 months, so let's face the reality. This needs to go. It's actually a little bit heavy as well, so these get thrown. Chris got as well some clothing and boots and things like that. Yeah. We cleared up as well the pantry, just making sure that we don't have excess food as well. It's all timed up and organized properly.
So basically just trying to remove whatever weight we can, because we're adding in 20 litres of water plus 2 5-litre cans of water as well, plus another 20-litre jerry can of petrol. So we're adding heaps more weight to an already really loaded system. We got rid of our skillet pan, which was just getting no use, but it was crazy heavy.
Alright, so we have just left our little camping spot by the river and heading back towards Lucky Bay. The weather looks beautiful, so we are ready for more spearfishing, snorkeling, and just like enjoying the WA beach life. But before that, we are heading on the way to one of the lookouts. You've got like a few different spots where you can see whales like we did last time, so hopefully we see one as well. It's like major like cliffs and beautiful red colors, like, so make sure to check them out on the way to Kalbarri. And we are back. Same spot. We know it's good, so no.
Why fix it if it ain't broke, right?
Yeah, there's no need to go further. We know the water over there is perfect for spearfishing, perfect for snorkeling. Looks like this time we've got some company, like there's a boat over there. Pretty cool spot for a boat. That's the only thing now missing to our setup.
Yep.
Maybe one day. These chairs, we'll do a review on them. Not doing well.
No.
We've got a little bit of a situation here. The wind has really picked up. All the poles are flying. Chris obviously is in the water, so I'm kind of like holding on all the poles by myself. It's really strong. I've got no idea what I should do. I tried to go get the peg, obviously, this won't do a thing, and then like the awning is flying over the car. So I'm probably gonna have to stay like this until Chris come back. Not ideal.
So a couple of sweet lips here that I'm filleting up. Another one, smaller one, but there's the big one. And come over here. Got me a crayfish. Western rock lobster. So that's pretty exciting. So he's just chilling in some salt water for now.
It became so windy that we had to pack the awning, and we actually have as well to move the stove. So we are taking shelter from the car at the moment, which is much better cooking condition. So here we've got some lightly crumbed fillet fish and some brown rice as usual. That looks really good. First time we're crumbing the fish. Can't wait.
Freshly caught rock lobster. Yes! So day number 2 in this little paradise, and just about to go for a spear. Not going to bring the cray noose this time, just going to see if I can get a big fish, and just preparing for her little beach workout.
Any luck?
Another big sweet lip.
So Chris cleaned and prepared the fish, and I did some little crumbed little nuggety for the wraps. So good.
It's the first sea snake I've seen. Unfortunately, it looks pretty dead. Washed up on the beach here. What an amazing looking animal. Got like a flapper for a tail, really. Turns out our coral snake is not dead after all.
Chris just came back to camp with another cray.
Yes!
Proud of you. And dinner is served. One for Madame, one for Monsieur. Good morning. It's day 3 and our final day in Lucky Bay. So we're just gonna make the most of it. We woke up for sunrise, which was really nice. And now we're just gonna go for like a little beach run. It's not very warm this morning, so that will work us up.
Alright, so need to catch dinner. I don't really want to go out today. I've got nothing else to eat for dinner, so we'll see what we can do. I've attached the new cray loop to my float. A big fish frame there and some leftover crayfish, like the skeleton. And then I've got this weight here, which is just obviously a for driving shackle. I'll weight my float down, dump my gun if I start going after crays, because this will add quite a bit of drag and stuff. Hopefully there's some stuff out there today.
Good luck.
kidney, and a mullet. I don't know what mullet tastes like, it'll be interesting. Oh, Matthew. How long was that? Like a couple of hours, eh?
2 hours, yeah.